Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. We are here with our partners, AL Medical. Today's webinar is 5 ways to be healthy during the holiday season and still enjoy your piece of pie. We'll be hearing today from Regina Story, Managing Director, and Taylor Newman, Director of Client Relations. So I will let them get started. Thanks again.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Well, I'm Taylor Newman with AL Medical, and I'm here to speak about too many temptations, the five ways to be healthy during the holiday season and still enjoy that piece of pie. First, I would like to take a moment, a mindful moment that is, for gratitude. We just had our Thanksgiving holiday last week, and we need to reflect on the gratitude that we ask for, that we demand. So I'd like to have you think of 3 things that you're thankful for and visualize what is good in your life. Did you thank someone new? Maybe a new person, a new neighbor, a new family member? Did you take a moment to meditate? Take that few minutes just to close your eyes, think about something positive, and recenter your mind, taking large deep breaths in and large deep breaths out. Also, focus on others' intentions, not just yourself. It's really important to grab that gratitude and live with it and hold on to it, especially during this holiday season. Well, as you know, I'm Taylor Newman with AL Medical. I'm here with Regina Story and also Monica Nguyen. Well, it is the season to be jolly, and there is full of temptation during this time of the year. So we're here to give you 5 tips to reduce that stress of eating around the food and temptations during the holidays, giving you the opportunity to enjoy the time with family and friends, staying healthy, and get that piece of pie. So I know this is me, but is this you? Do you have a grandmother or an aunt who just won't stop filling that plate over and over again, constantly wanting you to feed you and eat? Or is your schedule full with parties, company parties, holiday travel, different New Year's, Christmas Eve? I know mine is. Or maybe you're this one cooking and you just continuously graze. I'm a cook. I do it all the time. So by the time I eat that meal, I feel like I've eaten 3 meals. Well, this is the webinar for you, because we have 5 ways to be healthy. We're going to discuss hydration and nutrition and how that can add to your healthy well-being during the holiday season, to simple exercise, which I know everybody hates that word, to that cognitive distortion of all or nothing or black and white thinking, the ability to plan for yourself, not for others, not for travel, but for yourself. And then finally, celebrating the moment. Well, first I'm going to talk about hydration. And we all know we need to drink water constantly. But did you know that we're always in a deficit, or most of us are always in a deficit? Yeah, it's called chronic dehydration. And what our bodies have learned to do is to adapt without living with enough water. You know, especially during our holidays where we're drinking and we're eating, maybe not the healthiest of food, that can cause inflammation. And then when we're chronically dehydrated is when we stop feeling thirsty, which is a weird backwards way of your body telling you that it does need water. So we need to drink water throughout the day. But don't wait for your bodies to tell you that you need to drink. Well, obviously, drinking more water is a way to combat these effects and to help protect your body, especially with multiple diseases running around, such as RSV, COVID, and the flu. And then on the other side, you'll feel better. With more water in your body, more hydration in your body, your exercise and mobility will increase as pain reduces. So how do you do that? Well, the common thought is you do 1 ounce of water for every 2 pounds of weight on your body. And then finally, take a moment and think, when was the last time you had a drink of water? Well, for me, I just did before I started this webinar. And then we look into nutrition and how this works together with being hydrated to live a healthier lifestyle, especially during the holiday season. Well, obviously the CDC has extensive amount of information, but people with a healthy eating pattern live longer and are lowest risk or lower risk for health problems, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. But then we think about, what does someone with limb loss have to deal with? Well, the common issue that amputees deal with nutrition is weight gain. And why is that the weight gain? Well, it could be because you obviously don't have that body part anymore. So that's part of the body that can't absorb that calorie count. So we need to really think about what we're putting in our body, how much of that's being put in your body, and how that could affect your overall well-being and health. Well, with good nutrition, there comes with mental health. Obviously, these are going to play hand in hand. So let's look at that a little bit. Really quickly, all of these, the way you eat affects all what you intake in terms of chemicals, antioxidants, and vitamins that really stimulate the brain. Well, what does that do for you? Well, it's going to help your mental health. So let's look at strategy number one. You probably need to acknowledge that you need fewer calories, as I just discussed, as you did before your amputation. Choose smaller portions, cut back on the packaging and processed food. This will overall help decrease that risk and intake. Strategy number two, be mindful of what you eat. Don't reach for the food, the cookies, the donuts, the cakes, the pies, just because you're upset or in pain. If so, pause and think about what you could do. Well, I could sit and take a moment and meditate, do some deep breathing, or get some fresh air. This will help distract that hunger feeling or that the mind trick. These mind-body strategies and other tools and apps can help take control of that urge to go after those unhealthy items. Portion control is super important. So pay attention to this. Your plate could have everything perfect on it, but if you eat more, then you're just eating more, adding more calories. So take less. You can always go back. So take a smaller amount, because you know that half of that turkey is going to be there after because you're taking it home with you, or most of the family is. And then pay attention to your body signals that you are full. Most of the time, after you eat and you're still hungry, is the lack of water in your body. So hydrate before you get that next plate, and give yourself a little bit of time, because you might mistake that thirst for hunger. Now, we all hate this word, and I get it. We don't want to hear it. We're on the holidays, we're on vacation, we're traveling, but a little bit of exercise, just a little bit, will really help tame those healthy habits. So, obviously we know it increases energy. It's going to really be essential if you keep strong and healthy, reducing that illness and disease, especially what's going around right now. For amputees, especially, it increases stability, reduces falls and injury, and most important, it helps reduce that mental illness. Because you start thinking negatively, but when you work out, you're going to think more positively. You'll feel better. So exercising reduces dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and serotonin, which is the 4 happy chemicals in your brain. And this will create an happiness for you. So very simple. Everybody can do this. Sitting in your hotel room before you go to the next event, at grandma's house, before people arrive, but simple exercise plan. Sit push-ups, partial squats, ball toss, arm reaches, just getting that blood moving, getting your heart just moving a little bit faster will really help. in overall health for the holidays. Now, very important, cognitive distortion. So your mind plays a lot of tricks on you, and you got to be very careful with this. So what that does is it's like that all or nothing effect, right? That gray, there's no gray, it's either this way or the other way. So let's look into that. It's that black and white thinking. This will never be a good holiday. It's always sad on Christmas. You know, I'm never going to get to the store on time. I'm not going to arrive on time. Those are all negative aspects because it's not all the time. You do things all the time. And sometimes, most of the time, it falls into this gray area. And this gray area is really important to focus on. So what are some examples of all or nothing thinking? I'm never happy on Christmas, like I said. I feel very sad. Everything is terrible. Nothing good ever happens to me. The holidays are always going to be like this. Well, you know what? They're not always like that. So kind of pull back and think to yourself, how can I reframe this for myself? Well, getting back into that gray area between all or nothing, not using words like worse, never, ruin, everyone. This will bring you into that gray area because it's never the worst. It's not always the worst. It's never going to happen. So it's really important to keep thinking that in that positive aspect, like, you know, this time didn't work out, but the next time will be better. Or last time didn't work out, but I'm going to make sure that this time is going to work. And for that, I'm going to introduce Regina Story.
Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate you going through the first 3 ways. So we do a lot of planning for others, and it's easy to forget to plan for yourself. Let's discuss how important it is, and also to remember to be thankful for you and plan and embrace for yourself. Next. The holidays can be a great time, amazing time, and we get to spend moments that we normally don't with friends and families, but it can be draining and stressful too. So it's very easy for us to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of the holiday season. So again, as I mentioned, it's very important to remember to take time for yourself every day. Journal each day how you are going to take time for yourself, because journaling is an important way to keep the healthy mindset, and writing it down helps us process it better. And then also it gives us an opportunity to go back and reflect on past entries and how we've evolved, because we evolve. And this is quite interesting. So 61% of Americans say they would do almost anything for more me time. But yet, 70% are putting me time on hold when life gets hectic from a variety of the stressful holidays. And this was published recently by Forbes, about 200 respondents. So why do we fall apart? If it's so important to us, why do we fall apart during the holidays? So let's talk a little bit about FOMO to FOMOI. For those of you that may have not heard about FOMO, it's fear of missing out. I actually have serious FOMO, always have, and I believe will always will. But now I'm incorporating more FOMOI, which is fear of missing out on yourself. And that is the key, because without you and nourishing yourself, what are you missing out on besides that? So remember, your personal time is essential and necessary to recharge Carve out some time for yourself and do things that you enjoy. Sometimes they may not be the same as others, and that's okay. So here are some ways that you can help your FOMOI. So our lives aren't a Hallmark Christmas movie special. They aren't. So we're going to have way up and we're going to have way down. But how do we keep that more in balance? And here are some ways to help stay even keel with self-care. Have realistic expectations. Know what you will be headed towards if you go. This is not your first holiday season. And reflecting back, what to expect from Uncle Jay's big event or Maria's party. What is there to expect? Now, again, looking back to cognitive distortions, let's focus on not necessarily the black and white, but more of the gray area. What were you grateful for? What could have been done differently? What was your purpose in going? And then that will help you keep your thinking grounded and in reality. And then again, always remember, take care of yourself. Again, these are some helpful tips to incorporate, again, very simple, to help you plan for yourself. So sleep well. I actually experienced a lot of issues with my sleep habits during the pandemic. We're in healthcare, being in healthcare, and first and foremost, making sure that we could protect our community and our loved ones and basically the world, and then get us going. And sleep just fell on the back burner. And it is just so crucial for us to have clarity, for us to be able to balance our emotions, to have enough sleep, and do it obviously regularly. Short strolls, you can do this before an event or after dinner, just to, get out, smell the fresh air. Obviously that helps to increase your exercising, but also most importantly, it does help you with your mental health. Music is huge for me. I am just a diehard music fan, and I will access music at any time to help with my creativity, to balance me if my emotions are all over the place. So, use whatever type of app that is on your phone, or go, old-fashioned CD style. But if you need to step away from a gathering and put your favorite tune on to recharge yourself, do it. Creativity, great time to do projects. And again, you don't need to go to all the parties. You don't need to connect with everybody all the time. You need to connect with yourself more. And so creativity is a great way to, again, finish a project and even maybe make a gift instead of going and purchasing one. Delegate and collaborate. You're not in this alone. I am so thankful for these two individuals on this call, Taylor and Monica, because without them, it would be a struggle. And so being able to delegate and collaborate and reach out and ask is huge for your mental health, and it will give you time to plan for yourself. Taylor mentioned about meditation, and it doesn't have to be a full-on ordeal. I mean, literally, you can just sit down on your couch, no noise, no TV, no distractions, and just rest and relax. And hey, if things come into your mind that you really don't think that are positive, or what you're trying to do, that's okay. That's our brain, that's our mind. Let them flow in, and then just let them flow out, because that's what makes us so brilliant, is the processing of our mind. I know we've talked about nutrition, so cooking and baking is also very therapeutic. So, take time. Hey, I'm going to take a couple hours and I'm going to make, my famous cookies, and I'm going to give this to my neighbors and to my coworkers and my loved ones. And hey, maybe I'll have one for me. Don't eat them all. But it's a process that will take you out of what you've been dealing with all day or week and just focus on the experience and the pleasure of that. This is a big one for me as far as showers and baths. I'm usually like, okay, I got to get ready. I got to get out of here, or this and that. And so what I have done more of is to take longer showers or baths. Enjoy feeling the water through your hair and your skin. When you're putting shampoo and conditioner, really massage it. Breathe in, just give yourself a massage. This is your time. I'm rarely interrupted when I'm taking a shower or a bath. So give yourself a few more minutes. Give yourself 5 or 10 more minutes and you'll love it. And then also, if you are traveling, add in a day before or a day after. This is huge because, again, you're going to be focusing on a lot of people, serving others, interacting. So add in a day in or a day after. So again, the key as far as foundation for planning for yourself and making sure you're healthy is exercise, good eating habits, meditating, and lots of rest. As Taylor mentioned, being conscious about eating and drinking. So, again, what was your purpose of going to an event? Was it to eat all the stuffing you can, or was it to drink the surprise punch? No, it wasn't. Maybe it was, and that's okay. But, when you enter an event or a party, get settled and then, go talk to someone you haven't seen in a while, and then go talk to someone else, embrace that experience, and then have a drink, then have your plate of meal. Don't make it the first thing you do when you walk in the door to get a drink, because that's really not the reason why you're there. You're there to celebrate the moment with loved ones. Keep gifts simple. Right now things are really, really expensive, and we're not really going into the pocketbook right now, but that is something that also can really impact your mental health is if you spent too much money. So get creative. Make different wreaths for people that they can keep from season to season. Have a plan B. If you are not feeling like your purpose or values are enhanced or supported at whatever you may be doing, then have a plan B and you can just walk away. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, there's a lot of things going on, so feel free to say no. If it's not going to work and it's going to impose on your plan for yourself, say no, and you don't have to give any reason why. And then if you're feeling overwhelmed at any point, reach out, get the support you need, talk through things. Because all we want you to do is find the ways and new ways to celebrate the moment. So do it your way. Again, everybody has a different way, right? So do it your way. It may not be the tradition. Tradition is a part of the holiday season, but just because you've always done things a certain way doesn't mean you can't adapt it to a new normal. So what is your way? So going into this, what are you going to enjoy? What's important to you? And keep it simple. There's so much emphasis on grand gestures. We see it on the commercials and social media and, all these 15-foot Christmas trees and these big bows on these BMWs. Again, we're not a Hallmark special. This is real life. And so indulge yourself in just the simple acts of pleasure, like taking a longer shower. Health is a journey. It's not a destination. And, I say this a lot, and we say this a lot, is, we get so focused on the destination that we lose sight of the journey. And the journey is really what matters most. That's what we remember. That's what we care about. Yes, sometimes that journey has bumps, a lot of bumps, and they can come up during the holiday season. So This is for the long haul. This is not just for Christmas and New Year's. This is just the same journey. It's just a different time to navigate, different terrain. And we have confidence in you, full confidence, and you have confidence that you can successfully navigate the holiday festivities this year and every year. You got this. Again, it goes back to, what's the real meaning? Retain the real meaning of your beliefs for you and your loved ones, of why this is so important. And that will allow you to really embrace and celebrate the moment, the season, in a safe and joyous and intentional way. So, and in conclusion, let's focus on each of the ways that we went through to help curb the temptations, because there are so many of them. Staying hydrated, right? It helps to counteract and protect us from all the stress exposures on our body. And nutrition, it does a lot of things, but most importantly, it improves your mental health. Exercise, it releases all of those wonderful happiness chemicals. And we shared simple ways to incorporate it. So it's not like you have to make a big change, just a little bit here, a little bit there to incorporate into your routine. All or nothing thinking. Hey, life happens in the gray area. Remember that. Happens in the gray area. Plan for yourself. Let's not focus so much on the FOMO. Let's focus on the FOMOI. Fear of missing out on yourself. And do things that you enjoy and to recharge. And you don't have to feel bad about it at all, because this is the season to be thankful for you. Celebrate, be mindful of your purpose. Retain that. Why? And that will give you the happiness and joy. And that's what the holidays are supposed to do. Again, Amputee Coalition is a wonderful organization, and they are just a wealth of resources and support for you guys. Again, they have the app available. You have support groups, peer visits, private and group therapy, depending on what you choose. Everybody's kind of a little different. Social media posts, we learn so much from social media posts. And then, of course, there's the National Alliance of Mental Health, and you can also text them at NAMI. So now we're going to move to our Q&A section. So I'd like to ask everyone, what questions do you have? And we would love to hear any tips that you have to share that have helped you stay healthy during the holidays. And Monica is going to help us with this section. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Regina. Well, while we wait, I have a couple of questions myself. Taylor, in Nutrition Strategy 3, you had mentioned about grabbing seconds, starting off with small portions, so that way it's there. I mean, that it's always there, you can go back. So I just wanted to ask, how long after you eat would you suggest, before waiting and then grabbing seconds? Is there a period before, you're like, oh, well, maybe I should get up right after I finish my plate and, indulge in everything before everybody grabs it?
Well, good question. Well, the data looks about 10 or 15 minutes, and making sure when you have that first bite that you're chewing, you're not just inhaling it. And I've done this when I'm super hungry. But slow down, slow the tempo of your eating, but wait about 15 minutes and make sure you drink before that. And I have another tip. Before going to a big gathering, make sure you eat prior. Some of us want to hold out for that big meal, but have a healthy snack before arriving for that huge meal. That'll also curb some of that hunger. So maybe you won't need seconds because you're already full and you have that large glass of water after you eat. That's what I would recommend.
That's great. Yeah, because I definitely know that I am one to inhale my food, especially if I wait too long to eat. That goes on to my other question about overeating. I mean, do you have any other tips, especially with all these yummy foods and with all these dinner parties going? Do you have some tips to avoid overeating, or how, what we could look out for?
Yeah, so when you're eating, and we have all those appetizers, and we're all, you arrive at the house and there's all these appetizers, big spread before even the meal starts, right? And so what I recommend is grab a couple small things and then socialize. Have a bite here, continue to talk there, and just make sure you're not eating while you're speaking to somebody, obviously, but just have a bite here and there and socialize, enjoy that experience, because that's what you're there for.
That's great. Okay, so this is like the dreaded tip that we had, which is to, stay active and keep working out. And Taylor, I know you personally, and you are really good at working out and staying on top of it. So I think this is the best time to ask you is, during the busy holidays, when is the best time to work out, or do you prefer a certain time during your busy schedule to work out?
So everybody is great question, because I enjoy my fitness journey right now. And I'm enjoying it more in the last 3 months than I had prior. And, the data also shows that morning workouts are more invigorating, more energizing. And it starts your day on the right foot, right? For me, I don't prefer to work out in the morning. I like the afternoon because I work all day or travel all morning or traveling. And so in the evening, it works best for me, but that's why it's fluid. So you can figure out what works best for you individually. Most people like to work out in the morning to get that day started on the right foot. Plus, you've expelled some calories. You have you have a good, healthy breakfast, and you're really setting yourself up for really the rest of the health, being healthy for the rest of the day. That's what I would recommend.
So Brian Ellsworth, sorry if I butchered your last name, but he asked, when staying at a hotel, sorry, it went away. When staying at a hotel, would you work out in your room or with bands, or use the gym at the hotel?
So I would recommend incorporating it all. It really depends on your schedule. When you arrive, if you arrive in the morning or midday and you're able to be in your hotel room, try to get out and use the gym. It's good. You are actually exercising, getting to the gym. But just like in the pandemic, we were all stuck inside. So using the bands, if you can bring a couple bands with you and just doing some very, very simple exercises can already get your heart going and even break a sweat. So I think it's situational, and I think it's whatever is working for your schedule, but both will work.
And that's the first thing to add to Taylor. When we check in at a hotel, that's basically one of the first things we do is to check out the workout facility. Obviously, go to your room, drop it off, or on the way to the room, check it out, and then you can decide if it kind of fits what you're looking for, and you can incorporate what type of exercises you want to do, or if you want to go for a walk outside or a stroll, or do a workout in your hotel room, whatever fits your schedule, and again, whatever you are going to enjoy.
And I want to build on that just a little bit more. Remember, after you eat, after you have that, and you're full, then and you have that glass of water, and now you're really full, right? And now you're sitting there, you're holding your stomach. Don't just sit down. Stand up, walk around, walk outside. This will help start the metabolism of all that food, all that holiday food that you eat. Start moving through your body so it's not just sedentary.
I am the worst example of that. I will inhale my food and knock out. That is it. So these are helpful tips for me. And another thing that I also struggle with, Regina, you also, one of your tips was to say no. you know, draw the line, you know, have boundaries, which I'm learning. But as I navigate through that, I also, you know, have guilt trips. So
Mhm.
Regina, do you have tips on how to avoid these guilt trips?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the no is like, don't talk back, or never say no to your parents. It's impolite. Obviously, the way that you say no is important.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think first and foremost, we can't do it all. And if you try to do it all, it's going to lead to burnout. It really is. And so just being mindful that you don't need to be at every event or do everything. You can just, do what you need to do for yourself and for others, and plan it accordingly. It's not so much that you're saying no, that you don't care about what's going on or for whatever reason. It's kind of going back to that black or white type of thinking. It's no, I have a lot going on, and I want to take time for myself. It sounds great, but what else can we do? It's all it's like dating. So let's say you really like someone and they reached out to you and they asked you out, and you can't go for whatever reason. So you say no. Now, if you say no, then the other person is going to think that you're not interested, but that's not the case. It's just not going to work for that particular time. You don't really have to give any reason, but what you do is you offer an alternative, and that's really helpful. So it's saying, well, no, I can't do this right now, but how about let's get together another time, or let's focus on this, or hey, can you help me, collaborate and go, make this gift for somebody. So I would say if you are feeling uncomfortable about saying no, then say no, but offer an alternative.
I say yes all the time. I have it's so hard for me to say no.
Yeah, I
Yes, I'll do
overextend
this. Yes,
myself
I'll
and
do
then
that.
I'm
Yes,
ready.
yes, yes. And then I'm stretched
Yeah.
into oblivion, and I'm just too stressed out. So that goes back to the mental health piece. Think about your well-being. Take that moment, and if it's not right, it's okay to say no.
Mhm.
Do we have any other questions?
I don't. So, you guys have any other questions or any other tips that you guys want to share? I mean, you guys shared a lot of helpful tips. I definitely will try saying no this holiday, and if anyone gets mad at me, I'm gonna blame you guys. I'm like, you find Virginia and Tanner because they told me to.
Well, then maybe it's a little bit of clarity of maybe that person shouldn't be in your life as much. See, easy. Well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity for us to present with you guys today, and we hope it was valuable, and try to retain some of it. We just finished Thanksgiving, and that was a lot, and we're going into Christmas and New Year's, and just don't let it fall apart. Just remember that this is a journey, it's not a destination, and we're in it for the long haul. And we're here if you need us, and of course, Amputee Coalition. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.